Hello, friends. Today I'd like to introduce one of the most frequently performed romantic operas composed by Giuseppe Verdi, Rigoletto. Personally, I think Rigoletto is one of the most outstanding romantic opera. It shows the composer's mastery of storytelling and musicalities in many ways. I will talk about the most representative scenes in this opera, which declare in romanticism. I'm expecting to discover the sublime in its music, drama, and character images with you guys. To start with, I want to introduce this opera a little bit. I'll go through the basic information and the story. Premiering in 1851, Rigoletto was based on Victor Hugo's French play, Le Roi s'amuse. Victor Hugo was a French romantic writer and politician. The title of this play, Le Roi s'amuse, means the king has fun. Reasonably, this play was banned by the government for 50 years. Back to October 10th, 1813. Giuseppe Verdi was born in a small village in northern Italy. He is widely regarded as one of the most influential composers of Italian opera in 19th century. In 1839, he made his debut as an opera composer with Alberto, which was not successful as his operas later. The first opera which won a huge success for him is Nabucco in 1842, which contains the chorus Va pensiero. This chorus, which expresses longing for freedom, has been called as the second anthem of Italy. This opera made Verdi widely known and respected by people, and also brought him a role as a champion of Italian nationalism. Other successful operas composed by him in the same period of Rigoletto is Il Trovatore, composed in 1853, and La Traviata, composed in the same year. These operas discussed the theme of love and betrayal, the operations of people by social environment, and the fragilities of human nature. Verdi has contributed to innovate in structure, orchestration, and vocal compositions. He created a number of colorful and vivid characters, such as Rigoletto. Now let's talk about the opera. The opera is set in 16th century Mantua, Italy. The main characters are Rigoletto, his daughter Gilda, and the Duke of Mantua. Other essential characters include Gilda's nurse Giovanna, Sparafucile, who is a murderer for hire, and his sister Maddalena. Rigoletto is a court jester. He has a daughter that nobody knows, who is naive and beautiful. Her name is Gilda. Since Rigoletto does not allow Gilda to go out from home, Gilda always stays at home with her nurse Giovanna, whom she believes very much, but later betrayed her. Gilda falls in love. She does not know her father's job and who is her mother. Gilda falls in love with Duke, who disguised as a poor student named Gualtier Malde, a French name. Secretly, they fall in love when she goes to church to pray. Sarafucile is a professional killer. His sister is Maddalena, who later flirts with Duke. I have chosen several scenes in this opera, which shows the romantic characteristics. These scenes including love, betrayal, furious, mother, deceptions, and emotional tortures. They're romantic, passionate, dramatic, strong, but without feelings of faults. I will gradually go through the story and stop to talk about each scene. The first scene that I would like to talk about is the Duke's opening aria, Questo e quella, which means this one or that one. In Mantua, the Duke seduced the daughters and wives of his minister and have one with them. His minister, the noble people, although they feel disrespectful, they don't dare to be angry directly with him. Rigoletto is a hunchbacked person who helps Duke to achieve his goals in order to please him. Relying on the Duke, Rigoletto makes his living. This aria is the first scene of this opera, which shows totally the personalities of Duke. He is a perilous swinger. He's looking for love, but he never stopped on a particular person. I think he would like to gain his happiness from others' sufferings. Let's go through the lyrics quickly, then I'll play a little bit of this opera. So this is the lyrics and the translation of Questo a Guella. It says that neither is any different from the rest I see around me. I never yield my heart to one beauty more than another. Like all the women for Rigoletto, he thinks they're the same. Feminine charm is a gift best owed by fate to brighten our lives. He did appreciate the beauty that women are. And if one woman pleases me today, tomorrow, like as not, another will. Like he has so many beauties like who stay with him. Um, Fidelity, faithful, that tyrant of the heart, we shun like pestilence. Only those who want to should be faithful. Without freedom, there is no love. Without freedom, there is no love. I found the ravings of jealous husband and the fancy of lovers ridiculous. Once smitten by a pretty face, I did not let Argue's 100 eyes deter me. He is literally not afraid of like God of supernatural power. Then I would like to play this aria a little bit. La costora accarezza e calore, che quando l'inghiare guardami di questo, di quella mattina, forse bella, vorrei stare la costanza tirata dal cuore quel morto crudele, sol chi vuole si sa cadere, non c'è morto, no, se non fa libertà. Le narici il geloso furore, degli amanti la suora, qualche beltà. Qualche beltà. Okay, that's the end of this opera. In this aria, oh, that's the end of this aria, I'm sorry. In this aria, I found out an interesting opinion of Duke. He is literally despite faith. What he thinks of faith is a obstacle to search for love. What he thinks of love is to have all the beauties around him. He thinks this is the meaning of freedom, which is ridiculous. But I think this opinion proves the rebellion and the individuality of Duke. The second thing I want to talk about is when Rigoletto laughed at Count Monterone, whose daughter was seduced by the Duke. The Count Monterone then cursed Rigoletto that he said the same thing will happen to Rigoletto. Rigoletto was threatened by this curse. He keeps struggling with the curse until the next scene. He makes up his mind to protect Judah from Duke's seduction and others' revenge plan. Now I will go to see the scene a little bit. So this is the Monterone. He decided to mock at him. Now the Count Monterone is cursing Rigoletto. Curse is one of the important romantic elements that we can discover in many romantic operas, such as Der Vorausschutz by Weber and Macbeth by Verdi. In Rigoletto, although the person who cursed Rigoletto is not a witch or spirit, but as for me, I think it still implies a supernatural power, which proves that no one can escape the judgment from the fate because people did what they did. Then comes the scene that Rigoletto meets Sara Fucile. Parisiamo is the name of the opera later sung by Rigoletto. In this scene, Sarafocile introduced himself to Rigoletto. He says he makes his living through the dagger. With the dagger, he gets paid to kill others. Rigoletto says he thinks they are the same. He makes his living by using his tongue to please people. In this area, Rigoletto reveals his pain to be a jester. He must listen to Duke. Whenever Duke wants him to tell a joke, he'll tell a joke. Accordingly, whenever the Duke wants to seduce a woman, Rigoletto helps him to seduce a woman. He cannot even relieve his pain with tears because he is a jester. His job is to make people laugh. Here shows the rebellion of Rigoletto. He is actually very helpless. I may believe that he is not 100% willing to aid and abet an evildoer. He has no dignity at all in the palace. The loss of dignity is terrible, which touches him a lot mentally and physically. Oh, play that scene. It's the first time that Rigoletto meets the killer. I think it is um valuable to remind all of you guys that this is the scene before Judah gets seduced by the Duca. And Rigoletto, he already shows his curiosity to this killer, and it implies that he does has the demand to kill a nobleman. So Sarah of Chile start to introduce himself. He's introduced his sister now. The cute people together. It shows Rigoletto the dagger. Rigoletto start to ask Sara Fucile what was his name and where to find him. Um, there are two things which interest me in the scene. First, I think the comparison between the dagger and the tongue implies the danger and darkness of Rigoletto's job. In a sense, Rigoletto used his tongue to hurt and kill people. The second thing is that Rigoletto shows his curiosity towards South of Chile in this scene. When South of Chile is asking him if he needs to kill others, he answers, not at this moment, and asks for South of Chile's name and location. It reveals that Rigoletto does have the minds to kill people. He is waiting for a good timing or time when he cannot stand this insult anymore. The scene introduced the killer and Rigoletto's trauma, and implies the murder at the end. I'll show like a little bit Rigoletto's aria, which shows his emotional trauma. He's still struggling with the curse. That his rebellion, like he thinks Duke is insult him. Here's Gilda. To be continued, I'll talk about Gilda and play the scene of her and Duca a little bit as a bridge. I'll say Gilda is the purest and the most innocent woman character in this opera. As a singer who has sung her part a lot, I sometimes even doubt if she is silly to die for a swinger who hurts her, deceives her, and shows no sympathy towards her at all. However, I later understand these kind of actions, not only as her kindness, but also as her rebellion and individuality. She cannot go out of her home, so she has the initial curiosity towards people she doesn't know and the relationships she doesn't have. Of course, she is very kind, She tells Giovanna she doesn't care if her lover is a prince or not, but if the person is poor, she will love him and give him warmth and sympathy. Therefore, it proves that Rigoletto does protect his daughter very well. What happened after Gilda's beautiful aria, Caro Nome, is that she is abducted by courtiers because they misunderstand she is a mistress of Rigoletto. They want to insult her in order to torture Rigoletto for fun and revenge. Show the abducted scene and Judas and Ducas do it a little bit. Their loving duet ends with the splendid high notes. Um, in that scene, we can see the Giovanna, which is Gilda's nurse. Actually, she received the money from Duke. That's why Duke can enter Gilda's room. And now it is time to finally comes to the most famous, dramatic, and challenging baritone's aria, Cortigiani vi la razza dannata. Rigoletto sings this aria when he finds out that his daughter has been abducted to the palace. He shows the both strength and weakness as a father. He became very serious and powerful. Although he is not a noble person, he abused the courtiers directly and strongly. And suddenly, he started to cry and beg. This begging part is very touching in the aria, which is filled with climax. It makes audience sympathize with him. This aria actually helps to build up a full character image of Rigoletto. As an audience, I can always find contradictions in his human nature. People may say Rigoletto is a bad person because it is him who helped Duca to seduce and deceive wives and daughters of others. However, like every coin has two sides. I cannot say he did not love his daughter Gilda, or he did not pay attention to take care of her. Thus, I may say he is a good father. Besides, he is always grateful to the woman who gave birth to his daughter. Through these aspects, I am able to discover his kindness hidden in the depth of his heart. This kind of contradiction not only makes Rigoletto charming as a dramatic character, but also shows his individualities. Here's the abducted scene. They secretly adopted Gilda. And Giovanna didn't save her. Okay, I'll go to the aria. He started to begging Marullo. He's very helpless. Then now skip to the famous quartet. I want to talk about this quartet because it is the best quartet that I've heard, which remarkably combine drama with music. The four characters are divided into two groups. Rigoletto forces Gilda to go to the bar to let her see the Duke flirts with Maddalena. This is one of the most cruel and ironic scenes in this opera. Rigoletto is convincing Gilda to leave from Duke, while Gilda cannot help to feel sadness because of this heartless man. Maddalena seems like to refuse Duke, but actually she is seducing him. Duke is keeping saying sweet words to please Maddalena. Although these four characters are in different spaces and speaking their own words, I can easily get all the different musical motivations and topic. They become harmonious and unified in music. Actually, Franz Liszt adapted this quartet to a piano work and named it paraphrase the concert sur Rigoletto. The independent musicalities and romantic characteristics of this quartet can be proved by this. Rigoletto decides to kill the Duke to revenge for Gilda and protect her family. But tragically, Gilda sacrifices herself to save the Duke. Finally, Gilda dies in her father's arms. Rigoletto realized the energy of the curse and the consequence of his actions. Personally, I think Verdi has broken the boundaries of bel canto. He did a lot of try in this opera. There are tons of beautiful singing lines in this opera, but they're all connected tightly with the meaning of the words. Structure-wise, I think La Traviata is more likely bel canto style than Rigoletto. The opera is compatible with entertainment value and artistry, which likes a 7 layers cake. The aftertaste of it is memorable. In this opera, Verdi gives Rigoletto the most tender melodies, while he is talking with Gilda, and gives him the most furious music, which contains tons of pains when he broke into Duca's palace to find Gilda. Rigoletto is a story which nobody who is difficult to choose a way to survive failed to protect his daughter and paid for what he has done eventually. Rigoletto is also a story that the kindest and purest girl died strongly for her beloved one, although she got hurt and betrayed by him. The music of Rigoletto is based on the drama, but also attractive itself. The full character images makes people feel and think. Through its explorations of emotion, individuality, and the sublime, Rigoletto presents the spirit of romanticism in both its music and drama. The influences of this opera is profound. The thought of this opera has depth, but it also makes people touched easily. People can always get what they want through this romantic opera. This is my presentation. I hope you guys enjoy it and love Rigoletto. Bye.